Hey everyone, welcome back to Evany with Genghis. So wanted to talk about the big movement going on, CoinStrike, and the irony and unintentional comedy is not lost upon me. There's an Aptoide code at the top of the screen. It's a birthday code from a player who's spent, way too much money in the past 6 months to a year, and just helping him out, posting it for him. And that's what you get when you spend that much. You get 24 hours. So anyways, let's get to the news at hand. CoinStrike, I think like the fifth or sixth time now. My first experience with one was about 2020, 2021 Christmas, New Year's Eve time. Players were upset with how All-Stars went, all the lag, etc. Fast forward to today, and it's still an issue. In between then, there was also No Toll Highway. He was trying to get it organized. I was helping him out. Lots of people were involved, and it just never took off. There's been all sorts of other coin strikes here and there and in between, and they aren't working. So jury is still out on how this one will go. So let's go through some of the stuff here. I'll give you my thoughts on it, and you can join in on it. Join the Discord, look at any of the Evany Discords out there or line groups or world chat and ask, and I'm sure you'll get a link. So, number one, return all accounts that were banned in the previous week. No more malicious banning of accounts. Number 4, no more warning main accounts for plundering. Establish a plunder cap. I've since heard that establish a plunder cap was a divisive issue in the Discord group because some people were saying, hey man, you're already K45. Of course you want a plunder cap. You're being selfish. I don't think that was it at all. It was probably just, look, we want to know why you're banning accounts and you need to tell us. And then I put those all together because I have a suggestion. Get rid of them all and just change your terms of service to say we're allowed to have multiple accounts. End of story. You don't have to police it anymore then. You don't care. Who cares if they're all on the same IP address? We have multiple accounts. Other games do it. They actually encourage it because people spend on all the accounts. And it creates user engagement and online activity. And that's what you want in a game. And then you can sell them more stuff if they're there, right? You own a store. You want people inside your store. And they might see something they like. So that's what I would say. I would just change that in the terms of service. We want to own multiple accounts. Take it out. Take it out that you say they are banned owning multiple accounts on the same server. And get rid of that stupid VIP2 thing. Like, it's stupid. People find a way around. It's just annoying. But anyways, number 3, walk back the last terms of service. Nothing can give you the rights to spy on my computer. This is what people are talking about. People have found this in their terms of service that basically say they have the right to monitor your computers, how much RAM is being used, what programs are running, that sort of stuff. Some people say this was always in the terms of service and people just never paid attention. Some people are saying it's only in the PC version terms of service. Either way, this absolutely should not be allowed. Evany should not be allowed to do that. It's data mining, whether it's getting your personal details or your computer details and habits. It's data mining, and it's illegal in most countries and should not be allowed. Number 5, give us customer representation who has decision-making power and a once-a-month call, developer call at least. So once a month is very often, but I get it. People are angry and they want to talk. Also in this is the CoinStrike group wants to choose who the representatives are, not just, is her name Alana, and she's just going to pick 25 random people in the Facebook group and invite them. People want people who have a knowledge, and then they can organize what their questions are beforehand and talk to someone who has decision-making power, as opposed to someone who's in there as a third-party representative for Evany and just doing a focus group, and then they give their little blue, yellow, red, green spreadsheet after saying, we'll fix this, this, and this, and nothing really gets changed. So I will say, of all these demands, that one's going to be met. Evany's going to have a developer call. But that's it. They're not going to do anything serious. They'll add a couple new functions like, you could select all on this. That's going to be a good function. And they won't do anything serious because why should they? They haven't ever. Every time they've done a dev call, they change nothing and then people keep spending. People aren't happy and people keep spending. So why should they? It's worked for them in the past, right? But maybe people are really upset this time. I don't know. It kind of came out of nowhere, and it's been about alts. It really seems like this is all about alts because people took every other form of abuse from Evany forever and don't seem to care. So Uh, yeah, I'd like to see a dev call where their feet are actually held to the fire and the players were allowed to choose the representatives, but I don't know how that would work because I have a feeling it's just going to be like 4 or 5 vocal people in a group who get put in and their issues don't represent everybody. So I hope that there's a way to actually choose people who represent every type of player, but we'll see how that works. Speaking of every type of player, I'd like to see something that does benefit all players. Um, you know, it helps everybody not spend as much. Like if a free to play player just has 2 alts and they get them back and they get to do whatever they want with them, that's cool if they're happy. But what I'm getting at here is massive alts widen the playing field in Evany, and that's a major problem. So if you go back 1 month in Evany and you get all your alts back, were you happy? Right? Like, it's really unfair. You go into Battlefield and you face an alliance with enormous buffs you have no business playing, or massive power, you shouldn't be playing them, and there has to be a way to fix that. I get it that that's a really difficult thing to take on with Evany and explain, but the game needs to change itself. Like, there needs to be leagues or tiers where these really, really powerful alliances play each other all the time. And then other people play each other, and then people lower than them play each other. And I understand that there's championships like Shalons that do kind of weed people out and have it happen like that. But I just think that like it should be more fun on a weekly basis playing people who are actually at your competition level. So I'd like to see something with like that. I'd like to see more clarity with Evany too. What constitutes a merge? What makes people merge? Or just give people server teleports. Let people do it that way and let the free market decide. But why is your merge system so secret? And I saw a screenshot the other day that said the Battlefield scoring system is a secret. And there's certain things we just won't reveal to you. Why not? Why won't you? Like, is this like a referee in professional sports who just says, yeah, I don't have to explain to you why I made that call? Extra time in soccer 10 years ago. It's maybe like somewhere between 5 and 7 minutes. You'll find out. You don't need to know. So like these are things that should be addressed. Clarity with Evany, transparency should be there. But I don't want to, there's so much to discuss with this. And I understand people want to keep this down to like 5 main points with Evany. But the most important thing is going to be, will this be sustained? This coin strike, in my opinion, to be successful, it needs to go through All-Stars. So we got Shalons qualifying coming up. We got Shalons. So that's 10 weeks right there. And then All-Stars qualifying, 14 weeks. All-Stars, 4 more weeks. So that's 18 weeks. That's the last till about like All-Stars will probably be in December, I guess, if my calculations are correct. Late November, early December. And you can't allow Evany to just drop a new buff and people fold and buy it. Like you have to prove to them, we're not buying that. And that's when Evany will really listen and maybe start to make changes. But I think you need a dev call now. You need to tell them your points, and then they're not going to listen. And then you don't spend, and then they come back to negotiate, like a collective bargaining with sports players and the league, right? They don't take you serious the first time. No side takes the other side serious at the first sit down. So it's going to have to be multiple times. But I'm very curious to see how this goes. There are lots of big alliances involved in this and big players, and there are things that I've seen being talked about that are legitimate issues. And there are things that I think are not being discussed. And the unfair playing field is one of the biggest issues, but I don't know how you get that point across to Evany, because Evany is just, they're revenue driven. And buffs are revenue for them, and they want to sell them, and only the top players are buying them. So I don't know. Maybe you can get them to go back to old school Evany where things dropped from monsters. Why can't Civ fragments or blood crystals and that sort of stuff drop from monsters without a cap every day? Just have a very low percentage, but give people hope that they'll keep dropping every day and let people get them. And make it a decent amount of items that do drop. So the spending in the game becomes more about advancing time and not paywall. You could not have this item if you don't pay money. So those are my thoughts on it. And, I wish them luck. I hope that it changes the game for the better. And I'll continue to get the message out and spread it as I see fit. If there's any new updates on it, and if there's dev call and stuff, I'll gladly share that with you and maybe be a part of it. Who knows? Like, subscribe, leave a comment.